We are extremely proud to introduce fully supported dialects to ContraDB.com. We're working to build the live, cloud-based, crowdsourced database that lets people explore contra dances using advanced figure search, and also now lets you enter and see dances in your own personal dialect. So let's say I've never been to ContraDB.com before. I'm going to take a look at the dance Hot Buttered Rolls. I see it starts with a slice left, and on the way back, gentle spoons roll away their partners with a half sachet. Long lines forward, and on the way back, ladles roll away their partners with a half sachet. And right away I'm thinking, I don't call gentle spoons and ladles. I want this dance to be more reasonable for what I'm going to call. So I'm going to create an account. And it should be pretty straightforward. Since I'm a new user, I'm going to choose collaborative so people can help me with my dance entering, and I'm going to sign up for the newsletter. And I'm going to take a look at the default dialects, these presets that I'm able to follow. I'm going to follow these sticky notes across the screen so that you can find where we are going in this video. So if there's something you're interested in, go ahead until that's the farthest one on the left. I'm going to check out my dialect, and I see, oh, rolls is set to gentle spoons and ladles. I don't call gentle spoons and ladles. At the next dance that I'm going to call, their community preference is to use larks and ravens. So I'm going to set my rolls to larks and ravens. My face-to-face turn for two is going to be synchronized, which was just suggested by Don Vano. And I'm going to hit save here. I'm going to go back and look at Hot Buttered Rolls again. And now I'm seeing slice left, on the way back, larks roll away their partners with a half sachet, long lines forward, and on the way back, ravens roll away their partners with a half sachet. So that's worked pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and say that we have learned how to set dialects to presets, and we have viewed dances. I want to take us next to which shoulder round. I'm going to go back to dialects here, and one thing that you might have noticed in the face-to-face turn for two menu is that you don't just have to say if I want gyre, gyre left, or gyre. If I want Darcy, Darcy left or Darcy. I can also, if I prefer to say turn by the right shoulder round or turn by the left shoulder round, I can code that by saying turn by the %s shoulder. I like to just say left shoulder round or right shoulder round. So I'm adding %s shoulder round. And I'm really quick going to view a couple of dances that have some shoulder rounds in them. So I'm going to search for a figure or for a dance that actually has both. I'm going to search and shoulder round. Hey, look, I made a typo. I'm not so interested in should round. I'd rather do shoulder round. So I'll fill in this with %s shoulder round. I'll hit save. I'm going to jump back. I'm going to start my figure search over again. I want one that has a shoulder round, and I'll hit this ellipsis to get my details. I want there to be at least one left shoulder round and at least one right shoulder round. So both of those I search for the figure shoulder round, and then I enter those details. I can choose to have one be any certain length of time. I'm going to take a look at All You Can Eat, which is a really fun dance by Ted Crane. And I see this is saying next neighbor's right shoulder round once, Ravens Alaman left once and a half, partners meltdown swing, neighbors circle left, neighbor swing, star left, and then neighbor's left shoulder round once. If I wanted to go back to Don Vano's suggestion of synchronize, I could do that. I'll take a look. I say I forgot what that dance was, but I remember it was by Ted Crane. I'll just jump to Ted Crane here. Oh yeah, it was all you can eat. And now I have synchronize once, and then synchronize left shoulders once. So if it's not specifying in the dance, we know that it's happening one time. So that's how we're handling being able to shift around where right and left sit in the figure. And that can be equivalent to if you want to trade in twirl to swap for a box to add or swap to fleet. That's how we handle our shoulder rounds. And now we're going to take a look at advanced dialects. So say I'm going to jump back to my dialects pane. I'm going to stick with gentle spoons and ladles just for a second here. And I'm going to hit this advanced button. Right now, the only built-in substitution that I'm using is this synchronize. I'm going to add another. Say I am in the part of the country that doesn't say slice, we say yearn. So I'm going to look for slice in ContraDB's kind of default dialect. And here where it says slice, I'm going to make it yearn instead. And that's good and saved when I've got my little check. So I'm going to go back to hot buttered rolls. And I see now that dance starts with a yearn left. And on the way back, gentle spoons will roll their partner's way with a half sachet. I'm also going to show how we can use the advanced dialects to handle. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to default that yearn and slice. Gentle spoons and ladles is my default, but if I'm using gents and ladies, there's a few pluralizations that we didn't want to guess. So we're going to give you the option to say lady, ladies, first lady, second lady, gent, gents, first gent, and second gent to give you the opportunity to make sure that all of your spellings are right consistently throughout your dance. If I wanted to call, bands and bare arms instead of lady and gent, I am going to guess that the left-hand roll is going to be the band and the right-hand roll is going to be the bare arm. So I'm going to say bare arm, and I'm going to say bare arms, first bare arm, second bare arm. You're going to be band, first band, and second band. And when I've got that accomplished, I can again go take a look at any dance. Let's look at Sugar Britches 2.0. And bare arms by the left, hands neighbors by the right. I can see that one's actually pretty straightforward with not a whole lot of designation, but let's look at Seth Kepler's variation of the Joyous Rose. Bands give and take neighbors. Neighbors element, formation wave with bare arms by the left hand. So that seems to be working just like we want. I'm going to go back and set up a kind of standard dialect that I might actually call in. I'm going to do larks and ravens. I'm going to do percent shoulder round. And I'm going to do, say I'm not that into California twirl. I think twirl to swap is more descriptive for new dancers. So I'm going to replace California with twirl to swap here. And now that I've got my dialect set the way that I want, I'm going to mark that we've done advanced dialects. And let's go take a look at dance entry. Jim Hemphill is one person who has given us explicit always permission to enter his dances. So I'm going to enter a bucket full of butterflies, since that features a California twirl. A handy way that I usually do this is to kind of copy that text. I'll hit new dance. I'll put the dance in the notes so I can watch myself as I enter it. This is going to be a bucket full of butterflies. It is by Jim Hemphill, and it is a bucket dance. The first thing we're going to do is pass through across the set, not along the set, and we will California twirl, which I have now named twirl to swap. So we're going to twirl to swap our partners, and then the ladies are going to allemande. So I'll jump to allemande. I'm not calling them, I see that Jim called them ladies in his write-up, but I'm calling them ravens here. And they're going by the right, one time around. Jim called them ladies and I'm calling them ravens, are going to scoop their partner for a butterfly whirl. So that'll be for a butterfly whirl into a partner swing. And since that California twirl is preceded by the pass through and out of balance, that's actually going to be a 2-beat figure. No, it isn't. Pass through across the set, twirl to swap. Ravens allemande right. Scoop their partner into a butterfly whirl. Now we'll use a star promenade. And a butterfly whirl. That fixes my issue. And partner swing. And I am, alright, star promenade. This is again the ravens by the right. Let's just be a 4-beat pass-through. There we go. So 4 beats is a little long for a pass-through. I'm getting that little red line, but partners twirl to swap. Ravens allemande right one time. Ravens star promenade right a half. Scoop your partner for that butterfly whirl. And the partner swing. That ends up at a 2. I'm going to slide left and circle left 3 places. I'm going to add a couple of figures now, since I see that I'll need them. Slice, slide. Slide along the set, left, circle, left, only 3 places, and swing my neighbor. And I can see this whole line of my shadow, my next neighbor. I'm just on my standard neighbor this time. My circle left 3 places is only going to take me 6 beats. I finish off my neighbor swing and the B1, and then in the B2, I still need 1 more figure. The Jim writes gents, Jim writes men, but I'm again going to say larks. I need an allemande by the left, once and a half. We'll scoop your partner. Star promenade. That's larks by the left. Again, that is butterfly whirl to finish it off. And then that'll send you into position to pass through across the set. So I'm going to show you 2 things by putting in one incorrect note here. I see that Jim says in the A2, I usually will just say Jim Hemphill notes, so that people know this is not just the dance center's notes, this is certified from the choreographer, as have come from a source of someone who really knows a lot about the dance. I'm going to name this hook both rolls, butterfly, whirl, since I think that's what's most interesting about this dance, to help other people take a look at it. And I'm going to get one thing wrong in my notes here. I'm just going to type the word California twirl, since I'm not using that in my dialect. I'm going to save this dance, and you can see that I've got a few things ready to go and look at. So I have my pass-through across the set, I have my partners twirl the swap, I have my ravens allemanding right, star promenade, scoop them across. I want to show you the validate mode. Dave invented what we call lingo lines, and that gives us the opportunity, since we're done with dance entry, I'm going to check that off. That gives us the opportunity to see if there's anything that I typed in here that isn't quite right. Notice where Jim had ladies in his original text. It notices ladies is a word that I probably wanted to translate into my dialect before I typed it. Partners, it noticed I typed and it said, hey, you might have wanted to translate that and you didn't. Gents, again, ladies' arm makes the swing smoother. So I'm going to go back with that new knowledge from having validated it and hit enter and hit edit. And I'm going to make these updates. In the A2, I'm going to have the ravens scoop their partner up with their arm higher up and instruct the larks to keep their right arm down low. Have the ravens having the raven's arm above the larks makes the transition from butterfly twirl into a swing much smoother. I'm going to go ahead and republish that dance, and I'm going to click my validation button. Oh, I'm going to get rid of that note that I had put. And one other fact is, if I give anything, if I ever default to the contra kind of native dialect, which you can see in that drop down, if I type ladles here, it's going to notice that I mean ladles and translate it into ravens. Whereas if I was typing in a default dialect, it would notice that I typed ravens when I meant to type ladles. I'm going to get rid of those notes, so this is actually a good dance ready to call. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to take a quick look at programs. We can validate those as well. Done with dance validation. And I'm going to head to a dance program that was called when Louisville had an open calling last month or so. And we might find a couple dances that are private to that caller. But I'm curious, once I turn on validate, I'll be able to create my program, decide before I print it whether there's any changes that need to be made. So I see right now most of these notes have come in correctly, larks by left. That's a pretty private program. I'll choose one that I've set up. How about fake Thanksgiving program? That'll have a bunch of public dances. And I'll turn on validate mode so I can see any issues that might cause me to trip up when I'm calling. Everything, yeah, this L% shoulder round is worth editing, so I'm going to save that dance in my memory. And again, my % shoulder round, so those need to be updated. Neighbors, star, all correct. Here we go. The lady on the left and the gent on the right, I'm going to make that update to the ladle so it can translate into raven, and to gentle spoon so it can translate into lark. Or since my dialect is raven and lark, I can just write raven here and I can write lark here, make those changes so that I won't accidentally mess up when I'm calling this program. Are there any other issues that I see here? Yep, another one in November night. And a lot of times these errors will happen if you just kind of copied notes from a choreographer's webpage into the database. Before I go ahead and print this, I'm going to switch it back to clean so I don't have those crossed out lines. And then I'll be able to hit Control Print and print this program, which we have set up to not have any dances go across a page. So it's not quite as tidy as a 3x5 card right now, but it is entirely useful to call off from. And I've called quite a few dances with it. I'm going to hit cancel here, and I'm going to go back and edit these dances now that I've identified them. I hope this has been interesting for you, useful for you. If you ever notice someone else's dance that has something that doesn't pass validation, please send an email to administar@contradb.com, and you can find that link right here under the helpline. If a dance is misentered, name is misspelled, anything else, dance needs to be taken down, we've got an email link right here. And I'm always glad to hear from you, always glad to make these updates. I will sign off here, and if you have any questions, please do reach out. Thank you.